all around the triangle. I think we're up to 13 now. Cresa was involved in probably half of those locations, both finding us suitable locations and also finding us some tenants for some finished space that we had, unfinished space that we had, particularly in one of the buildings that we're talking about. I've been with Triangle about 8 years. I've been with Cresa about 7. So they were instrumental in quite a few of the purchases. A couple I'd like to talk about are our office in Apex. When we decided to enter the market there, Cresa was instrumental in finding us a small temporary site to see if we would withstand in the marketplace. It didn't take long to figure out that we were going to thrive there, so they found us a building with high visibility on Main Highway, and it was larger than we needed, but we finished the space we needed and had room for 5 more tenants. Only 2 existed, so through the negotiation powers and the ability to find tenants and come up with the deals that work for both of us, especially in this pretty tough market, we were able to fill the building, and now the building's profitable, and we're happy there, and I think our tenants are happy as well. Another deal in Briar Creek, when we were closing on or trying to find a location for our ambulatory surgery center. Our agent Sam probably researched 15 lots. Pretty expensive real estate there. We found one that would suit us fine, but had to come up with a special deal to not only hold the land until we applied for a certificate of need and were granted it, but also to eventually close because we had to bring in an outside party, and Cresa was instrumental in putting the deal together, which we are now breaking ground on, and hopefully it will be open in 6 or 7 months. So that was another success story. I think our main location in Durley, they were instrumental with too. We opened with a small office just for physical therapy and our MRI, but a year and a half later ended up taking the whole entire floor of a building, and now that's our 2nd largest location in the Triangle, with over 36,000 feet. I've been very pleased with Cresa. I've kind of become personal friends with our broker. We've had a great relationship. They've represented us very well. Since we are new to the landlord business, that's not something that I ever thought we'd be into, but when you have tenants, you have problems, and Cresa kind of acts as intermediary between the two, so I don't have to be the strong arm or the weak one. So I've relied heavily on the interaction with the middleman there. Through the whole process, there's been nothing but the highest integrity, and I've always felt comfortable, I've always trusted, and things have worked out very well for us. And we're not done yet. We continue to expand, and we'll probably have 3 or 4 more locations in the next 5 years, at least.
How about as far as tenant representation, and specifically how Sam's been helping you bring tenants into your building too?
Right.
If that's the case.
It did. It's particularly in Apex, where we had those 3. We actually had 3 to start with, and it became 4 when one of our tenants left. So we had 4 to fill, and we filled them a lot faster than I thought we would. Probably within 3 to 4 months. And coming at a time when it was a buyer's market, we were pretty happy to be able to fill that building. On the flip side, we don't own all of the square footage that we're in some of the buildings. We are a tenant in some buildings, and that takes you put on a different hat there, and you negotiate as a tenant moving into a building and try to get the best deal you can there. And Cresa also acted in that role for us. They also keep track of all of our property, whether we own it or lease it. And so I never have to worry about when leases are due to renewal. We have one now in Wake Forest that will expire next year. And so Sam is working on trying to get the best terms that he can get for us to renew that lease. And I feel I'm very satisfied. No sense. I've been approached by many brokers around the Triangle region because they all know that we're in expansion mode, and so they try to get their foot in the door. But if you're completely satisfied, there's really no reason to change. So that's why we are with Cresa, and will continue to be with Cresa in years to come.
How about your recommendations? Would you recommend Cressa? Um, have you recommended Cressa?
I definitely, I've recommended Cresa numerous times and would again, because like I said, we couldn't have asked for much more than what we've gotten from the brokers, and it's been a really good relationship.
And as far as you being a tenant in buildings, um, with lease renewals, and going into new spaces with your expansion, can you be a little more specific as to what maybe creative ways Sam has helped you or Chris has helped you in that respect that might be different from some other companies at all?
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's much different. I'm just thinking about what we're doing in Wake Forest right now. We probably occupy 25 to 30% of a building in Wake Forest. Um, I think Sam possesses some knowledge on how they finance the building, what they need, how badly they need us to stay. I think he's using that as leverage to get us probably even a reduction in our rate. We've been there for over 5 years, and I think he also always keeps his eye open for good deals. I mean, it's very possible that we could buy that building and lease back to the present owner, or build another one on that same site. But he knows what's available in the market and uses that leverage to get the landlord to agree to terms that are best for Triangle Orthopedics. We haven't come up to a renewal in Durley yet, but it's getting close. What we did have though were two separate negotiations. We went in there as a small space at first, just to house our physical therapy and our MRI. But then when we took the whole floor, naturally there was a lot of negotiation on Sam or Chris knowing that by us taking an entire floor of a building, we were going to provide 95% occupancy. So we were valuable to them, and the location was very good for us. And I think one of the things that Sam did, signage and visibility is very important. So we were able to actually secure two signs on a large building so that the building actually looks like it's ours, but it's not. We did have some partial ownership at one time, but sold it when the REIT sold. So he's not really involved in the southern tier for us right now, which is where we're expanding. We just opened an office this week in Clayton.
Did you guys do any kind of project management with Cressa? Did they come in and help you upfit any spaces or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
No, all the outfit was done with myself and the architect.
Okay. Is
What?
there in any way,
One of the things they did in Chapel Hill, now I'm going back a little bit further, we were on a I don't know how you describe it, on a property that we had to share parking with other facilities within the park. And that was important to us because we have a high volume, high traffic. We need as much parking as we can get, and in Chapel Hill it's not easy to find parking. But Sam was able to negotiate with the property owners future parking as new facilities went up around us.